Hey everybody, this is the Julie Brain Lady Anderson. Hey, for everyone who is seeing this live video here that I'm doing on, let's see, what is today? I've lost track of what today is. It is March 20th, 2020 at about 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am going to really quick, bear with me if you don't mind. I'm going to jump over to my other screen and see if I can't share this video that I'm doing right now from my business page over onto my personal page. See if I can do that. I'm not the best at doing this, so bear with me for just a second real quick. I do have some a really important topic that I want to share with everyone regarding psychoneuroimmunology, and just a little bit. Okay, there I am. Let me share it. We're going to share over to my personal page to let everybody know that, oh, can I? Maybe I can't share it in a, maybe I just have to do it via sharing it later. I have no idea. I'm still pretty, sorry, Molly Mahoney. I have taken many of your classes, and no, it doesn't. I'm not always good at knowing how to do all this share stuff. I'm not sure how I can just share it directly to my personal page. Bear with me. I have some important stuff that I do want to talk to you about. I really do. This is it's important stuff. It's important stuff. The time that we're living in right now is a little bit crazy, And what I want to do is I want to help everybody kind of understand how important it is to keep your, your brain in the right place. And I think I just managed to share it on my timeline. I hope. If not, I'll share it later. I just want to take a couple of minutes and talk about your thought processes right now, because I think this is so important. I did a quick Instagram video a couple of days ago, and I got some really positive feedback on it. And I wanted to share that thought again here on Facebook. And I'll be continuing to share during this time some points based on one of the programs that I have that, hey, Darlene, that I use about really controlling your brain and changing the actual chemistry in your brain to help your overall health. So real quick, I just want to mention a little bit about my background. For those of you who maybe have seen me talk about the brain-personality connection and shared information on tapping into and maximizing your natural brain strengths, you may not know where my background actually started and what the foundation is of everything that I teach. And that is the neurosciences and neuropsychology. And this started over 20 years ago. I need to actually look up the actual date so I can be more specific when I talk about it. But I was taking a course, I was studying for a degree in natural health. That's the direction I was going in my late 20s, early 30s. And one of the required courses was on psychoneuroimmunology. Now, this is a big, fancy word that simply means how what you think in your mind, okay, your self-talk, your thought processes, what you're thinking, how that adjusts the chemistry in your brain, how your actual neurons, the way they communicate and talk to each other, how that affects, or how your thought process affects that, and then how that in turn affects your immune system. And it was just fascinating to me what neuroscience could show us was taking place in the brain when we actually think. Like, fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I could go on for hours about this. But the bottom line is the long and short of it, what that particular course, psychoneuroimmunology, psycho being your thoughts, your thinking, your psyche, more or less, neuro being your brain, and immunology being connected to your immune system. What this means, it helps us to understand, is that what we are thinking in our mind has an effect on our immune system. good or bad, depending on what our primary thought process is. So why this applies and why this is so important on March 20th, 2020 is because of the overall state of fear and stress that a lot of people are under, right? We're here in California, and California is one of those handful of states that has issued as basically a self-quarantine. They're pretty much wanting everybody to stay home. And when they give you the explanation, it makes perfect sense, right? It's understandable to try to, keep under control this COVID-19, this virus that's running around. Not that it's that overly scary for the healthy middle-aged person, but it is for those at high risk with compromised immune systems, and of course those who are elderly. They're saying over 65, I believe, is what the current figure is. And so what this is causing is it's causing a lot of stress for people. People aren't working, their income is back. So they're in this state of overwhelm, in this state of fear, right? Of how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to, what am I going to do if my job isn't here in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month when the quarantine is lifted? Or even just that fear of, what if I contact it? What if I'm one of that small percentage that gets highly ill and hospitalized? Like, there's just this overwhelming state of anxiety, stress, and fear right now that a lot of people are experiencing. And I want to talk to you about how important it is that you control this. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you a little bit of a snapshot of what goes on in your brain when you get overly anxious or you're overcome with fear and stress. Okay, I want to introduce you to the amygdala. I should have pulled out a picture here. Should have had some graphics, right? I actually do have lots of little things of the brain, right, that I could have shown you, and I should have pulled out, but I wasn't that organized. At any rate, my point is that the amygdala, which is down in what would be considered your subconscious, or the action portion of your brain, is responsible for processing fear and running that fight or flight and conserve or withdraw a response in the brain. All right. So the whole idea is, let's put it into a real life example. I tell this to my audiences when I talk to them. Let's just imagine you are out at a busy, downtown restaurant, and you decide to stay there until late, until closing maybe even. And as you walk out the door, the owner locks up the door behind you, and you realize that because it was busy when you got there, you had to park way over there down this dark downtown street that maybe isn't always that safe, right? And as you are walking towards your car, your brain, you happen to notice something out of the corner of your eye walking towards you. Okay, as that person gets closer towards you, your amygdala instantly takes over. Fear has ensued in your brain, and now it completely hijacks your thinking process. Because in that moment, its job is to get you into safety. So physically literally what happens is all of the available oxygen, micronutrition, and glucose is first off sucked out of your thinking portion of your brain. It's sucked out of up here, and it instantly pulls it down to the amygdala. And the amygdala goes, okay, I am going to now, so right off the bat, it reduces your ability to think logically through what's going on. It now says, the amygdala goes, okay, I've got control of the brain, I've got control of the body. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut down the non-essential life-supporting portions of my brain or of my body, because I need every available ounce of energy I can possibly get my hands on, because I need to send it into the cardiovascular system and into the muscular system so that I can get this body, because my job is to protect it, get this body to a safe place. That's my job, and that's what I'm going to do. And the amygdala does it really well. Well, what are the non-life supporting systems that it shuts down? It shuts down the digestive system, because right now you don't have to worry about, if you're going to be dead, you don't have to worry about digesting your food. So it shuts down the digestive system. It also shuts down the immune system. I want you to remember this. I'm going to come back to this later. Shuts down the immune system. Because again, if I'm going to get killed by this person chasing me, I don't care if I've got an immune system that's working great, right? I just got to get from here to safety as fast as I can. So it shuts down those systems. It uses that extra energy that it has to feed into the cardiovascular and muscular system so you can move faster than you ever moved before to a safe place. So you go into a safe place as fast as you can. Maybe it's into your car and you lock the doors, or it's into another business that it happens to still be open, and you get there and you take that deep breath and you start to relax a little bit. And the amygdala goes, okay, all right, I did it. Yay, job well done. And it starts to release all of that oxygen and micronutrition and energy. It releases all of that back up into your thinking portion of your brain. Okay, so this is what happens. This is the whole process that the amygdala is set up for. And this is what it goes through, and this is what it does. And it does it really well in most of us. It does its job. It knows what its job is, and it does it well. Now, here's the kicker. It will do that thinking your life is threatened every time you feel fear and anxiety and stress. It's going to hijack it. It's going to take over. Now, it could be that once you get into that safe place, you see knocking on the door the manager from the restaurant that you just left, because you left your phone sitting on the table, and all they were trying to do was give you your phone back. There was no real threat to your life, but your amygdala thought there was. And this is where it really can be damaging in our day-to-day life. If you are right now, based on current circumstances, allowing yourself to be completely overrun with the fear and anxiety and stress, then that means that every moment, you have to think about this, every moment you feel that knot in your stomach, you're probably feeling it because your amygdala just shut down your digestive system because of the emotions you were feeling. If it's shutting down your digestive system, if you're feeling that anxiety in your gut, guess what? You're shutting down your immune system. Now, let me ask you, right now, under the current circumstances, what is one of your physiological systems that you want to be working at its absolute peak? Your immune system, right? We don't want to do anything under current circumstances that might reduce the effectiveness of our immune system. So while we want to be doing things like doing our good nutrition and taking our vitamins and getting the exercise, doing everything we can to keep our immune system right now at its peak, we would be basically shooting ourselves in our foot. We would be undoing any of that positive that you're doing if your emotions are constantly in a state or cycling through fear, anxiety, stress, fear, anxiety, stress, fear, anxiety, stress. Right? Say that 10 times fast. That's a tongue twister, right? If you're doing that, you're suppressing your immune system. You're literally, studies have shown, very interesting studies have shown, it will literally reduce the white blood cell production in your body. And right now, that is the last thing that you want to have done, right? Very important that we mind our mind. We mind that thought process right now and keep all of those negative emotions, keep them at bay. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it's not natural to feel what you're feeling, right? That would be wrong of me to do. It's perfectly natural to have a little bit of anxiety and fear as to, okay, for one thing, what's the true story, right? What is the real facts and story behind this particular virus that we're dealing with? Because if you're watching anything on social media, you get both sides. Oh, it's blown out of proportion. No, it's more serious than what it is. I mean, we just get constant mixed messages. So we don't have, unless we were a doctor in the middle of it, we probably don't have the clear picture. And that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. But if we allow our brains to get overrun with the fear, anxiety, and stress, then we're going to be doing damage to our immune system. So my goal is first help you understand that cycle, help you understand what's going on in your brain and in your body when you're feeling these emotions. And then once you catch yourself feeling these emotions, how do you manage them? One of my programs is basically Change Your Mind. It's adjusting your brain chemistry based on neuroscience to the positive, and in the long run, physically becoming healthier because of it. And I have several steps. There's actually like 25 or 26 different things that you can do that's neuroscience based, right, to help you manage all of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start over the next couple of weeks. I'm just going to start throwing those out there every day or every couple days when I can jump on and I can do a Facebook Live and I can share with you one of those tips. They're practical things that you can do every single day from your home. They are, whether it's a mindset activity or it's a physical activity, different things that you can do to literally keep your control of your amygdala instead of allowing your amygdala to control you, because that's really the key here. It's got a job to do, and it's going to do it, and it's going to do it really well. You just have to have a conversation with it and say, okay, wait a minute, let's get real, let's stay calm, because you don't want to do any damage to your immune system. So my first tip for today, after giving you that information, right, my first tip is, wait a minute, which direction am I going on? There we go. It's just breathe. Just breathe. Like literally just breathe. Just right now, in through your nose, take a really deep breath, and then let it out slow. What happens when you get in this anxious or this stress position in your brain? You literally start to move your shoulders up and forward, and you may not even realize you're doing this, right? Again, these are all things that just automatically happen in your body that you aren't cognitively aware of. So that's what I'm trying to do, is help you to become aware of it, right? So several times throughout the day, just kind of stop and take stock of what is your posture. Are your shoulders kind of up? Is your chest kind of closed in? Because when you do that, what you do is you literally restrict the ability for your body to breathe. You're compressing your lungs. And when you're compressing your lungs, you're not getting enough oxygen into your body. And the first place that the oxygen gets restricted from is your brain, the thinking portion of your brain. Okay, the thinking portion of your brain. That's what, because right now, for this body to survive, that's the last thing that needs to be functioning from the brain's, the subconscious's point of view. So every now and then throughout the day, just kind of stop, go, okay, how's my posture? Okay, all right, roll those shoulders back, open up that rib cage, and take a nice deep breath. Because that's going to increase the oxygen level in your brain immediately. Immediately, you're going to have more oxygen moving into your brain. The more oxygen, the more blood flow that you get going into your brain will carry more oxygen, more micronutrition, and more glucose. And guess what? You're going to be able to think a lot easier. And all of a sudden, things won't seem so bad just simply because you're breathing better. Okay, so that's my brain tip for today. That's a little education, little background on psychoneuroimmunology, little background on what the amygdala's role is in the brain. Share this video out if you think it's going to have any kind of benefit to anyone that you're connected to, and keep watching. Keep watching me over the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do it every day. I can't guarantee I'm gonna do it every day, but I'm gonna try to get on here every day, like I said, and just kind of share one of those tips, kind of explain the neuroscience behind it and why the different tips work and how you can apply those right now in your life while you're stuck at home, and help to feed your brain, feed your immune system. So worst case scenario, you do get hit with the virus, your immune system is going to be top notch, working at its best, and your brain's going to be oxygenated, and you're going to be able to think through it and survive it with the least amount of problems. All right. Okay, everybody, that is what I wanted to share today. I will talk to you soon on another day. Until then, just breathe. Just breathe. Go outside. Right now, if you live in the city, the smog is probably the lowest it's been in decades, right? Because there aren't too many cars on the road. So just go outside, take a deep breath, and breathe. Okay, till next time, everybody. Thanks for tying in.